Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. Now I gotta sit there and say, for the most part, for the majority of this episode, was actually pretty good. Of course, there was some scenes, some parts I didn't really care for. Um, let's just get this right out the way. I did not care about the Marshall and Portia scene at all. I could have did without it, and the episode would have just been fine. Now, going into the Dex and Josslyn scene, both of these two are a pair of idiots. If they honestly think that they're just gonna put Sunny away and just ride off into the sunset, I don't understand how that actually works in their head. Like, Sunny's not gonna find out and be like, you know what? Put two and two, and Dex is back, or wherever his head. You know, I don't understand how he did not sit there and think. I don't get that. Josslyn, I wouldn't expect her to. I mean, yeah, she kind of grew up around the mob a little bit for the majority of her life, but I feel like Dex would be a little more smarter. Now, Josh did sit there and say that her and Christina, they don't talk anymore. It's very awkward or whatever. There's a lot of tension. She's choosing her father's side, and Josh is being Josh. But Josh knows the fallout. She knows that Christina's going to be devastated. Avery and Donna's going to be devastated. And she's just like, well, he's getting exactly what he deserved. Even though not that long ago, she was sitting there talking about how Sonny kind of helped out Carly with the whole Drew situation. And yet she's still just like, yep, I think it's a good idea. Like, Josh, you're still POS. And what Christina finds out haven't helped you. That is all I gotta sit there and say about that. Now, let's talk about Michael and Willow. The majority, in the beginning, their scenes were just nothing but fluff. I really didn't care about it. But then they got into the whole Sonny situation, and Willow was like, Sonny was really sitting there helping you out, helping out Carla with the whole Drew situation. And she also talks about how, the family's divided because they love Sonny, but they also love Michael, and they don't want to feel like they have to sit there and choose sides. Of course, it does not get through this. Is still not getting. He's still not getting it. He tells Willow about his plan. This is after he shows the video of what Sonny Smith are doing, and she's all like, oh, well, why would he do this, that, and the third? I was like, because he's a kingpin. I mean, I don't think that you really, like, have you never watched, like, Godfather or anything like that? But after she starts asking these questions, Michael does tell her that he's the one that's behind it. He's going to put Sonny away for life. They don't have to sit there and think about him, this, that, and the third. And she is horrified, and eventually she does collapse. And, Michael's all scared, and he's worried and stuff like that. I was like, you know what, Mikey, you did this to yourself. Like, you got that poor girl. Because I'm like, at this point, she's literally horrified that you can actually do something like this. So now he's all panicking. I was like, bro, this is on you. Spencer. I'll tell you this much. And I know I'm going to sound like a bit of a sadist. And I don't care. But if this entire episode was crap, except for the one thing that happened to him, I still would have enjoyed it. I would have enjoyed it so much. Honestly, tell you the truth, to me, I think this is literally the best part of this episode because, well, I felt satisfied. So, the guards are just sick and tired of Spencer mouthing off, right? And, they drag Trina back to her room or whatever, where she's sitting there still fighting them, and I don't understand why. It's like, it's not going to really do any good, but she's sitting there still fighting them, and the guards sitting there trying to walk Spencer back to his room, and Spencer hits one of the guards and tries to run after Trina, but the other guard stops him. Now at this point, this guy is just pissed. He's like, you know what? Let's teach this guy a lesson. Curtis comes in there at the last second and kind of stops the guard from hitting him. And Spencer was clever enough, and I give him his props. He was clever enough to sit there and tell Curtis where Trina was being held at. At first for a little bit, the guard was like, I don't recognize you, whatever. I don't know who you are. Like he starts questioning him and stuff like that. And Spencer decides to distract him by just acting like his usual privileged prick of a human being. So it does give Curtis some leeway as far as to kind of dip out of that conversation. He's like, listen, don't hurt the boss's son. I mean, nephew, and he walks away. And at that point, the minute that Curtis is gone, he winds up punching me in the stomach. Now, I thought that he was only just going to get that little one good hit just because, like, yo, I'm in charge and I need to sit there and fall in line. So I thought he was just going to just get, one hit or whatever, and that was it. By the time they came back by the time they came back from Spencer, my dude's face is all like bloodied up, like blood comes from his mouth and everything. And I know it sounds pretty bad, and I don't care because that was the ass whooping I was waiting for him to get for a very long time. And something about seeing that sight just was like, I'm happy. I felt satisfied. I've made this no secret that I can't stand him. He has some good qualities, but his overall privilege, prick of a self, I just generally can't stand. So when I saw the fact that they whooped his ass, I was like, it was very satisfying to sit there and say the least. And yes, I know that sounds very sadistic. I don't give a damn. I mean, come on, let's just be honest. It's not like you're gonna sit there and kill him off or anything like that. So he's gonna be fine. You guys ass whooping, so that's what was needed. Um, Robert, Robert's literally trying to stall Liz. Liz is trying to get in there like, hey, I need to sit there and check on Anna, yada yada yada. And she realizes that Robert's sitting there stonewalling her. Robert's like, yo, listen, you gotta sit there and trust me. You gotta trust me. I know what I'm doing. This is after he. This is after he was in the room. He was calling somebody, and he heard the knock, and it was Liz. Now Scotty does wake up, and he eventually gets in contact with the WSB. So Liz didn't know what was going on, but an agent from the bureau actually came in there, and Scotty was like, "Yeah, I called him up or whatever." And Robert was like, "You idiot! You literally just signed her death warrant at this point." But let's be honest, this whole thing was idiotic from jump. The minute that they chloroformed him, it made zero sense. If they would have let him in on the plan, that whole thing wouldn't have happened. It's like the definition of just jumping the gun. It was just unnecessary, but it was necessary for plot. Now, back at where is it? What at Greenland or something like that, or Valentina Snitted telling Liesel that Victor Snitted telling Liesel that Valentin is going to be the test subject. Once Valentin finds out what Victor's doing, he tries to reason with him. But you can't reason with somebody like that. I mean, hell, he's going to use you as a test subject. If he doesn't care about his own son, what makes you think he's going to care about trying to save the planet in another way? So he orders Liesel to sit there and give him the drug or whatever. And Liesel, once she gets in the room, she's like, "Yo, this is your son." He's like, "Not anymore." I'm like, "Damn." I mean, yeah, I got pleasure out of watching, um, Spencer get his ass whooped, but I mean, that's his own son. So she injects him, and eventually his nose starts bleeding, and Victor's like, "Listen, you tell me who else is with you, and you'll get the antidote, and if it works, you'll live, and if not, oh well." I was like, wow, that's some cold. I was like, that's some cold hard ish right there. That is some cold hard ish right there. I feel like that's about it. I really do. I can't think of anything else that happened. All in all, I would sit there and say it was a good episode. Like I said, the whole Portia and Marshall thing, I really didn't care about. All she sat there and did was whine and cry and worried about her daughter, which, well, that's not a bad thing. I'm pissed off at Portia because she's all like, "Oh, Spencer is bad," and I gotta sit there and keep Trina away from Spencer. Like that's the part that's just irritating me. And Marshall being there was just like, okay, just one more person in the room to sit there and take up oxygen. So awesome. But all in all, let's sit there and say it was a good episode. With that being said, I'm gonna go. I probably missed something. I don't know. But if I did, come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. I will be sitting there going through B&B, GH, Y&R, and Days. Because it's getting kind of late, and I don't think I'm probably going to be able to do a Days review. But I'll sit there and talk about it because I'm going to be watching it, so I'll come through. Yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go. I want to thank you for watching. Stay safe, and I will see you in the next video.